And did you hear Andrew Yang? What a
Oi, what
total.
did he do?
Oh my God, his he was recently confronted, I think, by Crystal Ball and Kyle Kalinske about his stance on BDS because, of course, he conflated it with like, uh,
Anti-Semitism?
In an op-ed that was generally about your approach to the Jewish community, said a Yang administration will push back against the BDS movement, which singles out Israel for unfair economic punishment. Not only is BDS rooted in anti-Semitic thought and history, harkening back to fascist boycotts of Jewish businesses, it's also a direct shot at New York City's economy.
and he was just like, well, he totally tiptoed around it, and he was just like, well, BDS calls for to abolish the state of Israel, and
No,
like I can't
what?
agree with that. And
The BDS specifically, as an organization, as a movement, has refused to disavow extremist elements that have frankly declared that Israel does not even have a right to exist.
dude, does South Africa exist today? Like no one
Yeah,
is
right. I think
going to
somehow they made it through.
like what are you talking about? Like that's not, it's just such a gross distortion of what BDS is, and it's disgusting.
Yeah, I
That was
have the
really,
quote
really
here.
disgusting.
I have the quote here,
This
and
is
I
interesting, by the way.
yeah.
Sorry. Oh,
Oh, I have
Please.
the yeah. I
No,
just
no.
had the quote from
Yeah.
Yang. It's
Yeah.
really bizarre because like he said this on like Secular Talk, which is a pretty left leaning show. So like it's like he doesn't know his audience, and he just made this really extreme thing. Like he doesn't even like no one is like asking Andrew Yang what he thinks about like Israel Palestine, I think in general, but this was his answers. Like BDS specifically as an organization, as a movement, has refused to disavow extremist elements that have essentially said Israel does not have a right to exist. So that's quite extreme.
Yeah, no one's saying that. They're saying that the Zionist regime shouldn't exist, like in its
Yes.
current form, because that 5 million Palestinians are not. They don't have democratic rights,
Right.
dude. Like, hello, like how dare you conflate that and distort that and obfuscate the obvious reality? And I know he's pandering because he's
Yeah.
running for what,
Yes.
mayor of New York or whatever. Like, it's quite disgusting. I mean, he really ripped his mask off there because it's just like, dude, I'm sorry. I'm, I don't discriminate when I say like I want equal rights, human rights, and democracy for everyone. And
Right.
if you're just like, oh yeah, I'm liberal and I'm on the left, but like, yeah, Palestinians are Nazis. It's like, no, that
No, they
doesn't
all want to
fly.
kill us. They all
No.
want to
And
push us to the sea.
And the thing
Yeah.
is, he's pandering to you, Katie. He's trying to get your vote as a Jewish person living in New York.
Yeah.
Like this is not appealing to you because Jewish
As
people are
a
not a
Jewish person living in New
monolith,
York. Yeah.
are
Right.
not a monolith, and aren't all like everyone in BDS is a Nazi. Like that's just not
Right.
like it. So that's not even good pandering.
Right. Yeah. No, it's not good. It's not good at all. And also, ready for me to make a real dent in his campaign.
Yeah.
You know what he opposes.
What?
You know what one of his most controversial positions is.
Oh, circumcision.
He's anti.
Oh,
I like
now,
that. That's the
now
only
I'm
thing I like
fine with
about him.
anti. I mean, I have a big debate. I'm a firm believer in the fact that it obviously started out for health reasons. I don't know why people can't admit that. It doesn't have to be. It's no longer a health issue in industrialized nations. I'm not anti or pro. I just think that I don't like the comparisons between that and genital mutilation. I say no to that. I think it's ridiculous. It did start out as a health thing when people were living in that's I don't know why Christians dropped it. Like you got the Jews did it, the Christians were like and Muslims are like, yeah, we're gonna bring that, we're gonna circle back, circumcision back, circumcise back. But I'm just saying, I'm just saying that.
Yeah, he had a lot
be-
of strong words about that, Andrew.
that could alienate you could lose a lot. You're cutting yourself off. You could cut
You're
off
cutting
a lot of your. I'm sorry, I can't even Don't you're cutting off your something despite your face.
Despite your dick. You're cutting off your
you're cutting
face.
off your foreskin despite your dick. But I shouldn't do that because that's not my problem with him. It is but I'm just saying I could imagine a bunch of religious people now getting upset.
Yeah, it's a fascinating thing that he just went right out of the gate with that, but then he's just like so, tepid in his
that's
response
really
about this. It's like, says a lot, dude. I mean, it's so disgusting that here we are in 2021 when the UN said by 2020 Gaza will be uninhabitable. So where are we at? They don't have clean water. There's no access to, like, they used to count their calories. Like, everything is patrolled by Israeli officials, and then there's 2 million people living in this open air prison, right? And they don't have freedom. They don't have mobility. And then there's the West Bank. 3 million people living under a brutal martial law. They can't have rallies, they can't participate in political demonstrations, they can't raise a flag legally. Like, this is serious shit, and the fact that Saturday Night Live was like protested and
Yeah,
boycotted,
we did
and
a thing on that. Yeah.
it's just like, what is wrong with you people? Like, honestly, what is wrong with society that you cannot acknowledge this horrific oppression that we are subsidizing with US tax dollars? And that's why it is really, the onus is on us, American citizens. It is our government. Yes, there's horrible stuff going on all over the world. I personally think this is one of the worst human rights catastrophes in the world. And the fact that my government is directly sponsoring it with my tax dollars makes it that more urgent
Right.
and dire for us to organize and try to link this struggle with all of these other struggles, because it really can be linked. This is
Right.
a global empire. Imperialism is global. The fact that Israel uses military technology to oppress refugees at the border, like, all of this is connected. Police, look at the police institutions.
Yeah.
They're all trained in Israel. The NYPD has a headquarters in Tel Aviv, and so we need to wake up. Like, I don't know how much longer we are going to let this slide, how much longer people like Joe Biden can just unapologetically say, I'm a staunch Zionist, and Kamala Harris actually compares Israeli activism to, like, the civil rights struggle in Selma. I mean, they are horrible,
Oh
on
gosh.
Palestine.
What
Yeah,
is
it's
that?
really
That's
embarrassing.
awful.
Yeah, they were probably the worst next to Amy Klobuchar when it came to their, loyalty to Israel. And it's pretty grotesque. I mean, Joe Biden got a 100% APAC rating. It's sick. It's just like, people are suffering and dying every day, and the land is disappearing, and there is no second state to be had. And the sooner we wake up to that truth, the sooner that we can try to galvanize and organize some sort of movement to hold Israel accountable. The ICC, hopefully something will happen there, because the US government will continue to veto everything that tries to be initiated on a global scale. And our government is just disgusting, everything it does around the world. But this is one of the worst, and we can't wait. Like, it's
Yeah.
such an emergency situation, And COVID, I mean, COVID's made it that
Oh
much
my
worse.
gosh. Yeah.
I'm on a group text with the people that we did Gaza Fights for Freedom
Which
with,
is
and just
so
every
good, by the
day it's
way.
just
I
like,
can't recommend enough. Yeah.
thank you. No, and thank you. We're actually going to release it for free, on
Oh, good.
Razan's, on the anniversary of her death, June 1st. So I hope people check that out on YouTube. It's going to be up. And hopefully our YouTube account doesn't get taken down because of it. Like,
Yeah, if it
I'm just
does,
like
yeah.
anticipating, like, anything could happen because of just how awful this is getting.
Well,
Cancel culture.
cancel culture,
Yes.
yeah.